Yeah, that's very entertaining, very amusing. African music. Um, a lot of us seem to have an affinity toward African culture, the African experience, the African diaspora. All of the Pan Africanism, all of the things that have been promoted to us about African culture and the society. Some of our people have an affinity toward it. We were married to that name, you know, by the well in the '60s. You know, we were married to it by a lot of civil rights and Pan Africanists who were coming up and pushing the whole Black Power thing and red, black, and green. And though Marcus Garvey talked about our people migrating back to Africa someday and maybe setting up a homeland, it got very, very stronger. The Pan Africanist thing got very strong in the '60s, as opposed to what Garvey was trying to do is pushing independence amongst our people and trying to get us to have our own homeland, our own government and things. He saw a fitting place as Africa. However, there was some limitations with that title. And that's basically what I'm going to address, the limitations in the new millennium with that title and the origins of it and why there's a problem with it concerning us here in America. We're going to talk about that tonight. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz, and this is State of Mentel Radio. And tonight we're going to talk about the logical reason why black people are not Africans. And I'm talking about black people here in America, though we do have some of our people who have the African blood within them. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. There's no one can deny, based on our interaction with Africans from the West, no one can deny that there is a cultural divide. There is a mental divide. There is a continental divide, yeah, but there's just a divide in ways of thinking, how we move, how we talk, how we, interact. The fact that we don't interact with the Africans of the West. You see it all the time. When they come here to America, I'm talking about your tribal marking, blue, black, foreign-looking Africans with the buckshots for the hair. When they come here and interact with us, you see that there's really, a distance. It's not a we all black thing and whatnot. Now, a lot of people can blame that on the fact that we've been here in America and that their culture and their customs are different, and they can say a lot of things. However, we can also say the same things. We have this disconnect with the Africans. It's more than just living. It's more than just cultural differences and the things we thought might separate us from them. We're just not the same people. We're not. A lot of our people who push in the red, black, and green and the Pan-Africanism and whatnot, and things like that, because they think that we're all the same. We're all the same black people. Same way as you got black people who think that people who are dark-skinned people are the same people because we are, they call us people of color. They'll think that the East Indians, the Asians, the so-called Native Americans are our people because they're dark-skinned people, when in actuality, in fact, we are not. There's no denying that black people here in America, black people are totally different from everyone else. The music we listen to, the music we create, the rhythm we move on, the way we speak, how we think. That was a vibration that we brought to America. It wasn't made in America. Majority of our people, we have an easier time or a better time, or we feel more connected in the East, not in the West. We feel more connected to places like Egypt, a.k.a. Kemet, whatever you want to refer to it as, Nubia, Sudan, Ethiopia. We feel more connected to those places than we do the western part of Africa. There's no denying that. Now, people could say all the time that, it's because how the white man promoted Africa as the Africans being savages and they running around with their asses out and, beating on drums all day and things like that. That's why we hated being African and they promoted them with bones in their noses. But I have a question. Was the white man lying? Does not the West African, do a lot of the tribal Africans run around with their ass out with bones in their noses? Do they not perform tribal rituals? Do they not do these things? Do they not build huts and things like that? Are they not primitive in their ways? Now, a lot of people will find that offensive, me saying that the Africans are primitive in their ways, because they go, oh, why are you judging them? I know all the Pan-African talk, so let me save you Pan-African niggas the trouble. I'm gonna play the advocate here, and I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna be you too. I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna be you. I know you're saying, oh, he's calling them primitive based on what the white man says is supposed to be progressive, and I want to hang up on this guy. We don't want to hear this guy because he's talking about the Africans. Those are our African brothers and sisters, and we want to, he doesn't understand their culture. Right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say again. I'll say this. I think the white man's a savage. Okay? The white man that built America, I think he's a savage all over the world, along with the Africans. Now, how you niggas like that? Since you want to sit up here and say, oh, I'm judging them based on the white. No, I'm not judging them based on the white man. I'm judging them based on the fact that we, here in America, are connected to the ancient Nubians, the ancient Kemites, the things that the people that the white man tells you that you're not connected to. I'm judging it as that. I'm judging it as a people who are descended from builders. Black excellence. People who built societies way before the white man came out of the damn caves while he was in the cave scratching his ass, keeping the fleas out of his fur, a.k.a. hair, what he called hair today. And the East Indians and all them people came out of the caves and the Caucasus Mountains, of course, Georgia, Russia, and the Caucasus Mountains of Europe going into Asia. I'm talking about that is what I'm judging these people by. I'm talking about that which the ancient Nubians and the Kemites judged them people by, because they judged the Africans the same way. They said the same damn thing. Don't look to the white man, because when you come with that argument and you say, oh, you judging them based on the white man, you're saying that black people never had any excellence in mind. They weren't builders. You're actually making a racist statement against black intelligence by saying that. You saying that we can't look at other black people, right, and judge whether they serve no purpose or not. That's only for the white man to do. He's the builder. He's the civilizer. He doesn't have a problem promoting us as Africans or African Americans. Why doesn't he have a problem with promoting us as African Americans? Yet he has a problem telling us that we were the Egyptians or the ancient Nubians. Well, he couldn't get away from the Nubian part because that's just undeniable, the word itself. But he had a problem with the whole word Kemite. He'd rather use the word Egyptian. But let's go for this for a second. Why did he have a problem he has no problem with calling us Africans or Americans or just Africans. He has no problem with that. You know why? Because both titles came to us in bondage. Both titles are bondage titles, slavery titles. We got the title African from the Romans. The so-called continent was named after a white Roman general named Leo Scipio Africanus. Right? Now you got your Pan-Africanists. Oh, no, brother, you don't know. What about Kibulan and, what about that? And Africa, they come from the Afar people, and that's where the word come from, and it was from the Africa and the Afar people, and yeah, whatever. You know how you know that's false? Because the so-called black people back then, the so-called Africans, quote-unquote, didn't even think in continents. We didn't think in continental divides. We didn't say Africa over here, Asia over here. The white man did that. Now, I want any of you Pan-Africanists to deny that. Deny that we did not think in terms of continents. Black people in so-called Africa today did not think in terms of continents. They were tribal people. They focused on their areas. They was not united as no one continent. They was tribes fighting each other. They was in different sections, and they stayed pretty much in their sections. They, and some of our people, our people traveled out amongst the world, and our people have went all over the world. We went every place, but we still didn't think in terms of continents, nor did we name any continents. I don't know where you get this whole Ikibulan thing from, which means before the land, or before the name, or whatever you say it means. You understand? To promote this Pan-African, Afrocentric nonsense amongst our people. Why? Because you niggas want to be like the Eurocentric people. You want to be like the white man. Because he claims the continent of Europe, you want to claim the continent of Africa. When you don't know that he gave you the name Africa when he was classifying these continents as a way, as creating a filing system. The Romans were colonizing the hell out of things and colonizing the hell out of people, and they filed you away as Africans, meaning people who were under Roman rule. The Africans. It made it easier for them. They do that. The white man come along, call a whole race of people who call themselves Kemites, Tamarans, whatever they call them Egyptians. Now everybody goes with the title Egyptian. He come along, and if he did call it name Akibulan, then why ain't y'all calling yourself Akibulabians or Akibulanites or whatever? Why are you calling yourself African? Because a lot of you Pan-Africanists, y'all won't refer to what y'all originally called the name, if that's supposed to be what the name was. But prove to me that the Africans ever refer. And now, like I said, I'll open up this phone call because I had somebody in the when we posted it talk about, oh brother, are you crazy? Are you out your mind? All right, the person who says I'm crazy and I'm out my mind, you call up here and you prove that the Africans or the so-called black people in that time thought in terms of continents. Prove it. I challenged any Pan-Africanist to call up and prove that they thought in the terms of continents, because I had this discussion before. And the reason why I do this, for you people who think, oh, he going against his people, he don't want to be African and this, that, and the third, and Afro, and all you Afrocentric people, I do that because that title is insulting to us. That title represents limitations to us. Why did the white man call you an African? I'm going to show you the similarity. What does he always show you with the Africans? They always smiling. They always happy. They always dancing. It's always a party. It's always them shaking their ass. They always, in the streets. They're always happy. It's always a tribal dance, a tribal thing. They entertain the white man and his woman when they go over there to Africa. When they do go over there and they look at the Africans, they entertained by their primitive tribal dance and things like that. Then they go and watch you niggas playing basketball, running, doing anything in the play, dancing, and they love to show you in the movies the same smiling nigga face, same dancing, same entertaining the white man. So do you see the line that's being drawn here? That they don't take the Africans seriously. Just like they don't take y'all seriously. That's why they call you African. Because it's a non-threatening term. It's a term of bondage. They like when you're in bondage. They like when you sit up here and refer to yourself as African. They like it. They don't ever want you to refer to yourself as Nubians or Kemites or Egyptians, because the Egyptians were builders. The Kemites were builders. The Sumerians were builders. And they know damn well they were black. They wasn't running around dancing and shaking their ass. I mean, I'm sure they had their music and they party, they did their thing, but they built. They built civilizations that the white man still basing his civilizations on today. Your ancient civilizations in Egypt, Sumeria, and all these places were based on his civilizations today. In Freemasonry, in the Illuminati. They use your symbols, but they'll sit up here and tell you that they don't belong to you. That those people back then, they're not. They're not black. You know, they're people of color. They're Indian, and they might have a tinge of black, but they're Indian. And you see when he does the National Geographics and he does all that, they always show you they'll have the damn statues, and you'll see the big nose on the black man, the full lips, and the crowns on their heads. Then they'll show you some damn East Indian or some fake Egyptian that lived there today that came when these people invaded and conquered thousands of years later. They'll show you those people as the Egyptians. And like I said, these are the same people that call you Africans. They don't want you to be taken seriously in this country as builders, as thinkers. That's why they call you African. Show me what the Africans built. They treat the Africans as simple-minded people, simple simians. They go amongst the Africans with their National Geographic cameras, show them with their ass out, and you go, oh, brother, they ain't all Africa. Don't say that about Africa. Any part of Africa that's not like that's because the white man came in there and civilized it. Now tell me I'm lying. Call up here and tell me I'm lying. And like I said, I'll give you the phone. You call up here and tell me I'm lying. You show me what the Africans built. 914-338-0504. Show me. Show me what they built. And don't tell me Timbuktu and all that, because that wasn't built by the Africans. That was built by the Nubians. You could tell the difference. Our people are amongst the Africans. Our people are the ancient Nubians. Our people are the ancient Kemites, the Sumerian people. That's us. Our people ran into the western part of Africa. You understand? When the Romans came in and we got ran out by the Romans, we went in amongst the Africans. You understand? But they're not our people. You know our people from the Africans. And don't sit up here and act like y'all ignorant about the difference between us and the Africans. You understand? Barack Obama know the difference. He know y'all ain't his people. You see, he got some black in him somewhere. He got some Nubian in him because you know the characteristic of our people. Our people grow afros. We got woolly afro-y hair. Our features, the Africans grow BB buckshots on their head. They don't really grow hair. Our features are not as hard as the Africans. We carry a different shade to us, a different carbon base to us than the Africans. The Africans got a dry, dull look to their skin. We got a sheen to our skin, a bright sheen to our skin. And I don't care, and for you niggas that sit up here and talk, oh, well, brother, I'm playing the Pan-Africanist role. I'm being the Pan-Africanist tonight, and I'm being myself. For you people that are sitting up here saying, oh, well, brother, that's because we was mixed in with the white man and the Arabs and the East. Let me tell you something. Niggas that say that, let me tell you something. Their blood is not that strong. It's really not. You're talking about mixing in artificial blood with strong Nubian blood. The Nubians are not the Africans. Two totally different people. Two totally different people. You understand that? So for you niggas that's going around here putting the ankh on top of red, black, and green like some simple-minded niggas in the conscious community do, two totally different societies. One is a nation of builders, and the other is a nation of primitive tent and jungle dwellers. You say that we look different because we mixed in with the white man? You got black people who dark as the ace of spades who've been here in America, who you could go to Egypt and Nubia and see who ain't mixed down with nothing, woolly, afro-y, textury hair, that still look different than the Africans. Don't feed me that bull crap about, oh, because we was mixed. I could show you a sister dark as the ace of spades, pretty, got a sheen to her skin with a beautiful natural who don't look like the Africans, the blue, black, and the Africans. You got brown-skinned Africans that don't look the same as the dark-skinned black people here. So don't give me that crap about the Africans are our people. Do they stand up for you in the UN when they come here? You understand? They don't even, like I said, do they talk about you? Now, a lot of our people are amongst the Africans. A lot of our people, like Kofi Annan, you could tell he's Nubian. He's not an African. He think he an African. You understand? He's Nubian. We know the difference when we see our people. It has nothing to do with the white man's blood. Don't give him the credit. His blood is thin. Though some of our people have been weakened down a little bit by it, but mainly what weakened you down, what you inherited more than anything, more than his bloodline and his diseases and things like that, was his mentality. Majority of you black people that mixed in with him. Why do you think it was so easy for the Africans to sell our people into slavery? Because trust me, that was a calculated thing. The white man knew who he was dealing with in selling our people into slavery. They picked our people for a reason to bring to America. They didn't bring the Africans. You understand? Because they knew the Africans was too wild and they wouldn't work. They didn't have the mindset of builders. They brought the people who were your ancient Nubians here. They knew who you were. Certain tribes that you went under the name of, they knew who you were. Ashanti and things like that. They knew who you were. They knew they knew by looking at us how our hair grew, how our skin complexion looked. They took the best looking people. They took the Nubians from amongst the Africans and brought them here to build. Why? Simple. Because they were trying to build a replica of ancient Egypt. And so, of course, they're going to want the people, the descendants of the people who built ancient Egypt or Kemet and Nubia. They wanted them. They didn't want the Africans. Because you could look at what the Africans did. They ain't built a goddamn thing. They ain't did nothing. They tribal. They living in their little huts, and they was happy. How the hell you gonna tell these people to build anything or work? You understand? They climbing up a tree trying to get a monkey for breakfast. And like I said, I don't give a damn who got a problem with that. They're not our people, and y'all need to stop trying to embrace them. Just like you simple-minded niggas here in America try to embrace the so-called Native Americans when y'all really the Native Americans. The so-called Indians, who ain't nothing but a bastard race of people who are Asian and black mixed, bastard race of people who don't even want you niggas. Don't even want y'all. Was the so-called Native Americans, you niggas, certain niggas running around putting feathers in their heads, looking stupid. So-called Native Americans who y'all running around, you black men blowing your hair out, and you talking about, oh, I got Cherokee in my family. Oh, I got Navajo. How are you serious? I don't care. There ain't no different than having the one. They did. Matter of fact, your man, what's his name? Henry Louis Gates, Skip Gates. He did a DNA testing on black people here in America. The majority of you black people in America who go around claiming Native American ancestry. You got more. He said that the percentage in black people that claim Native American ancestry is about less than 2%. You got more white blood going through your damn veins than the damn Indian, and that's the fact. Which it really ain't that much of a difference anyway. We all got a little dog in our blood. I don't care if it's the so-called Native Americans. They really ain't no damn different than the white man, because they got the same straight dog hair like the white man, and the East Indians and the rest of them. They messed up our genetics. I don't care if it's a so-called Native American or white man. They messed up our genetics, but we're gonna bleed them out of our bloodline. There ain't gonna be no scrap left in our scrapbook, so we gotta get rid of all the scraps. That go for your Native American scraps, your African scraps, your white scraps. It's time to define the real Nubian people, the real Kemites and the Nubians and whatnot, because those are people, those other tribes, those other mountain dwellers, them cave dwellers, them goddamn Africans, them tent dwellers, the tree climbers, they are not our people. Stop sitting up here trying to kiss the Africans' ass. Then when they come over here, they turn their nose up to you niggas like you stink. And they the ones that's not using no damn deodorant. They smell like a damn funk box. And you niggas claiming them, you go among. And I say, let me tell you something, you Pan-Africanists. I'm getting off on a rant tonight. Let me tell you Pan-Africanists, because this guy got me off on a rant tonight. Let me tell you something. If you niggas love the Africans so much, why don't you go live with them? Go live with the Africans in tents. Go live with them in Soweto and all them places where they living in poverty worse than you niggas living here in America. Go live over there with the Africans. They trying to come over here. They trying to come over here. Go. They trying to get the hell out of Africa. You niggas talking about Africa. As soon as they get out of Africa, they ain't trying to talk about no Africa no more. You don't see them raid with no red, black, and green flag. They looking at you niggas like y'all stupid. You got niggas running around here putting onks on flags, and they not even black. You gonna remain nameless, selling our people foolishness, calling us African Americans, 2 slave titles, and y'all falling for that. We're gonna spit fire on this goddamn these airways tonight, because I'm tired of this madness. We gotta wake up and understand who we are, where we come from. Have an ultra standing of that we come from builders. You black people here in America, you come from kings and queens, but it's not the goddamn Africans. It's not some woman running around painted up with her ass hanging out, her titties hanging out. That's not who you are. You don't want to go to Africa, so stop lying. You don't want to sit there. You'd rather be in Egypt touching them goddamn sphinxes and pyramids and reconnecting. You feel more at ease and more at home there. And it ain't got nothing to do with the damn white man, and because he painted the African, that he told the truth about the Africans. They do be jumping up and down, beating on drums. You niggas saw it for yourself. You can go to any book and see them practicing all kind of weirdness and madness. Stop sitting up here talking about, oh, well, brother, why are you slandering the Africans? The Africans don't give a damn about you. They don't care about you. When the hell are people going to wake up? Scipio Africanus. Look that man up. The man who defeated Hannibal. You understand that? You understand that? Find out, please prove me wrong that anybody, this Iquibulan nonsense and where that red, black, and green flag really came from. Because the Africans over there in Africa, they don't acknowledge no red, black, and green flag. That's something that was made up over here. Just because some of y'all went over there in the 60s and took the flag over there, and Malcolm X and them went over there and started pushing that whole the Pan-African thing. A lot of them, they wasn't doing that over there. They was in their own little places, in their own little countries, and they were satisfied where they was at. But if I'm wrong, you prove. Call up 914-338-0504. Tell me I'm wrong. Why does the white man have no problem calling you an African or American? I just told you why. Because the Africans are coons. They Sambos and coons. They your original Sambos and coons. They love the white man. They love the white woman. They accept the damn white man into they little tribal thing before they accept you niggas in America. Matter of fact, I remember I was watching this thing on National Geographic, and this white boy, he talked about how the damn Africans, the tribal Africans, I forgot the tribe, he said this tribal African, some primitive group. He talked about how he went over there to live amongst them, and he was running around painting up with them naked, and the white man loved the experience. He ran around, had sex with their women. They was all freaking off together, and they was all and they said there was no racism there. He was all amazed, but it's funny how the Africans accepted the white man and how he fit right in with the savages because he's a savage. So much for you niggas who sit up there and talk about, oh, you brother, you calling them savage. I'm calling the white man a savage too, okay? Because he fit right in with them. He liked running around with his ass out with them. He like it too. He showed you he like it. They're the same people. Same savage mentality. Same people that'll eat other people. What did the white man, ain't a lot of your Africans cannibals? Yeah, they are. Some of the tribal Africans are cannibals. They diet, the stuff they eat. Don't the white man do the same thing? What about the Donner Party? And all these people, they was cannibals. The white man was cannibals. A lot of them still do that on the low. The white man eat all kinds of filthy food and all kinds of disease and disgusting, all kinds of what he call exotic food, same way the Africans do. Rhinoceros ass, elephant ears, whatever. He'll eat that. Bull penis, whatever. What else? Roasted boar. You understand? They'll eat that. The white man eat that. The monkey brains. The white man eat that. The Africans will eat that. That's the same. It seems like them people vibrate on the same frequency. Hell, the white man loved the Africans. He don't like you niggas. He loved the Africans because they some Sambos and coons. He loved them. They the original tap dancers. They got a big smile for the damn white man. Soon as he come to their country, he loved them. Like I said, a lot of people ain't going to like that, but I really don't care. The truth is the truth. And y'all want to sit up here and call yourself African. You understand that? Because it's limiting our people. So we got to stop that. Like I said, I'm not sharing the whole African mindset. You understand? I'm not with it. I don't limit myself by continents. Our people went everywhere. Our people was in America first. Our people was in Europe first. Our people was all over the damn planet. You understand that? So don't give me this nonsense about, oh, we originate in Africa. You understand? Don't give me that. Because the white man ain't even proved that. He couldn't prove that we originated in no Africa. He don't know where you come from. But like I said, a lot of you simple-minded niggas, y'all believe it. Y'all believe the white man when he's up and say, well, we found life in Africa and this, that, and the third, and and the paleontologists, we found Lucy, some half-ape woman, half, whatever, and we found her in Africa. And, she's the African mother of Eve, the African Eve. And you niggas keying on that African thing. You key right in on, you fall for it all the time. You fall for it. And I know a lot of people ain't feeling this because it disturbs your spirit because y'all got African doubt. Y'all fell for the whole Pan-African nonsense. Yeah? But I showed you. Why is it that the white man, why is he willing to call you an African? Why ain't he willing to talk about you being Egyptians or Nubians? I remember a story back in the 80s. I want you people to look up a man by the name of Mustafa Hefney. I'm going to put his name up there in their chat room. Mustafa Hefney. Right? Mustafa Hefney, this was a black man, right? He was a black man who was born and raised in Egypt, native of Egypt. See, they don't notice something. They don't talk about the black Egyptians. That, you know, if you go there and you look at the people that was raised, born, and bred in Egypt, you got black Egyptians with afros who look like us here in America. They don't talk about it. That Mustafa Hefney came over here in about the 80s and the 90s. Look him up. And he looked like a regular brother from here, brother with a fro, you know, like a regular brother, like he could fit right into your family, like he could be my uncle, right? Now, Mustafa Hefney, when he got his passport, on his passport, they put that he was a white man. And when he came to America, they still classified him as a white man. Why? Because he was from Egypt. They classified him as a white man because they don't want to classify any black people as Egyptians. That's how racist they are. They'll classify you as a white person if you come from, if you're a black person from Egypt. They classified him as a white man. And he was going to court to try to get that status changed, and he was having to fight to change his status of being to a black man. He wanted to be a black man and be recognized as a black man here in America. What does that tell you? Now, I'm not saying some of our people, the Nubians, ain't amongst the Africans. Some of our people are amongst the Africans. I told you we was run into Africa. When we got chased out of the East, we ran from the Romans and them, and a lot of our people went into Africa when the dynasties fell, and we went into Africa, into the West, and we lived amongst the Africans. Same Africans that sold you into slavery. The same Africans who never liked you. The same Africans who, when our people were sent back in 1804 to Africa for a brief time by the President James Monroe, when we were sent back to, because they established the country in Africa. They established a place for our people called Liberia, and there's a city there named Monrovia after James Monroe, right? Where a lot of blacks left in 1804 and went back to Africa. Went back to, I should say, to that area in Africa, right? Now, even to this day, you had black people who had a hard time with the Africans coming back there and setting up. A lot of blacks set up businesses there who came back from America out of slavery, set up businesses there. You know, the Africans was giving them a hard time. You even had rebel uprisings over there in Liberia in the 80s, in the 70s and the 80s, and they were trying to get a lot of the black people that came over, and it was because a sister was talking about that. She wrote a book on it. She talked about how the Africans gave her people problems, gave blacks who, you know, were descendants of the black slaves who came back over there, was giving them problems, you know, took over a lot of their businesses and things. Wonder why? Why didn't that black, red, and green thing kick in with the Africans there? Why didn't that whole black mindset? We all the same people, right? Obviously, the Africans don't think so. So when you say, oh, you know, oh, brother, how you going to say that about Africa, red, black, and green, and Africa and African? Go and ask an African, are you an African? Go ask them, do they consider you African? Some of them might go, oh, yeah, they'll tell you black women that because they might want to get in your pants. So they'll tell you African, yeah, my African queen, but they don't want you black women here in America. They want their own women. They want them people. They want to hang around their own people because they got the same smell. They eat the same food. They got their own music that sound horrible. We coming from people, we produce jazz, R&B, real music, soul music. They producing some loud ass drum beat music. You understand? We don't even listen to no African music. Majority of our people. Some of our people try to say we'll sit up here and fool ourselves with this saying, oh yeah, well yeah, we like the African music and stuff like that. You know, and you try to fool yourself because you want to try to form some kind of bond with the African when you know damn well you are not connected to them people. You're not feeling that. Y'all would rather go to Egypt. You would rather go where civilizations and societies are built because you admire the building because you have a connection with that. You ain't got no connection with no goddamn mud huts and no grass and no damn people running around naked. You know you ain't gonna go over there and live with them people. Because if you did, why don't you just go and live with them? They'll welcome you over. Some of them will welcome you over there. Well, some of them. Some of them will welcome you over there. Won't you take what you learn here in America, since you niggas talk about this Pan-African thing so much, since you love the Africans, go live with them. Go live with them. See if you can live over there. See if you can survive. See if they'll even want you. They'll accept the white man, no problem. You know, you even had black people sitting over here mad when Charlize Theron, the actress Charlize Theron, because you know she's South African, right? She was raised in South Africa, and you know, of course, you know, it's she was part of she grew up in the racist apartheid thing and whatnot. You know, on the white side, she refers to herself as African American. Right? You know, black people, black women had a problem with that. How she gonna call herself African American? Why not? She from Africa and she in America. That you know why they push that? Just to show you niggas that you don't even got that. That's not even yours. That's why they did that. Since you niggas want to talk about your African ancestry and your African roots, and you push that African spear throwing, nonsense. Since you want to talk about that so much, Charlize Theron said she was African American. And you black women got an attitude. You black women with perms in your head. You have black women with perms in their heads and wearing white people and Indian hair on their damn head, getting an attitude with her because she calling herself an African. Are you serious? You niggas are funny. Africa, huh? I gotta play some music. No calls yet from the Pan-Africanists. All the big Pan-Africanists who beat on their goddamn chest and told me, oh, yeah, brother, how you going to say we not African? Prove that we African. You know that term came from the white man. You know it came from the Romans. But you niggas are slaves. That's why you attached to it. You love that title. It's the same way. Calling us African is the same way, and painting us as Africans, making us look like we just all we come from that we come from is a bunch of people who dancing around, shaking their ass, women running with their titties out, and the man with their ass out and buck naked and painting ourselves up and jumping up and down and everything is part. Painting us like that, he does that the same way he does in movies, where he make us look like the coons and the clowns and buffoons, and he stick your Martin Lawrence and all these coon niggas in front of us, and and these stupid tired ass. So the man's pushing an image. You understand? He wants you to be the savage buffoon coon nigga. That's what he wants. That's why he calls you an African. You come from those people. You see that picture I got in the feed with George Bush? He got his hand around the African. They got their shirts off. They got their little tie up around they tied up. He got his arm around them and whatnot. He liked them kind of niggas. George Bush liked them simple-minded tribal niggas. Well, we love Mr. Bush. He loved them. He happy. You see, he got big old cat-eating grin on his face. See him? Big old grin on his face. Now, tell George Bush that the blacks were the ancient Egyptians. Say that you black women sat on thrones, that you were worshipped as goddesses. They'll look at you like, nigga, woman, you crazy. But it's the truth. You don't want that, but you want to be an African. You want to be a voodoo priestess. You want to sit around here painting up your titties and dancing around with your ass hanging out. And all these talking about, yeah, brother, there was some strong black warriors and all this. Yeah, what was all them strong black warriors when the white man came and took their little villages and they moved them niggas out the way? Where was they at then? Where was they at when the white man just come with the bulldozer and push all them niggas over and just take all their stuff? Where was all the warriors at? And you know where they was at? They was busy selling you into slavery. Selling the last of the Nubians into slavery. Here. Because the white man wanted the Nubian woman. He wanted to lay with her, not with the African woman. He wanted the Nubian woman. Like I said earlier, there's a difference. We know the difference between the African woman and the Nubian woman. You know the difference. You black women know. And you black women know y'all ain't attracted to African men. Y'all attracted to the Nubians who are amongst the African men. Those are not the Africans. You know the Africans, them niggas with them blue-black looking niggas with the buckshot hair. Who look like they look like ancient aliens, like voodoo dolls. And you black men know y'all ain't attracted to them African women. You like the sisters who are Nubians amongst the Africans. You know how the Nubian women look. We grow froze, we grow braids, we got our hair. Our hair grows into little even for small afros. We grow afros. We got our features don't look like that. We got a different shade to our skin. We have sheen to our skin. We have texture. Our skin ain't dry like the damn Africans. Though some of the Africans mixed in with us. And you could tell as soon as the African mixed in with your genetic, you could tell the genetic changes. You could tell. You could tell when how they communicate and how they move is not even the way we communicate and we move. Even if the African adopts the so-called Black American culture, you can still tell there's a difference. You can still tell he's not in rhythm with us. There's a whole different vibration. You could tell. Like I said, you black people that live, a lot of you black people that live amongst the Africans who think y'all not Africans, y'all Nubians living amongst Africans. Our people are all over the planet. And by calling yourself an African, by letting the white man call you an African, you don't even see what he was doing. He was limiting you to one part of the world. Do you ever see the white man do that? Funny how the white man could be American, he could be European, hell, he could be African. He all over the damn planet. He about to go to another planet and be Martian. He could be everything. But you niggas are just African. You understand? You just African. He don't attach Europe to everything because he know Europe ain't nothing but some space where he run his offices out of, and that's just a place where he governs from. But he goes all over the planet. He makes himself international, which is what we really are, because our people were everywhere. Our people were here in America first. Our people were in Egypt. Our people really didn't even, Africa was was basically for the West. We wouldn't really even go there unless we wanted to get gold and other stuff. And we had all that in Egypt already, and Sumeria and things like that. But you see our people, the ancient Nubians and all these people, and the Egyptians and the Kemites, we took the Africans as slaves. We took the white man as slaves. We took the East Indians and the Asiatics as slaves. And then these people in the Nation of Islam talking about we the Asiatic black man. What? We took the Asiatics as slaves. Those were your Chinese, your East Indians, and your white man. You go on the wall, look on the wall, you see the so-called Egyptians or the Kemites, the Nubians. They got the damn African. They got the damn they got the African. They got the Asian. They got all these people in bondage. Those are black people on those walls. You understand? The ones, like I said, you don't even, you could tell when was later was painted, the ones who start looking Indian looking, those were the people that came later. But remember, we got over 3,000 to 4,000 years of history just in Egypt alone, or in Kemet alone. So you think about Nubia and all these other places. Totally different people. These simple-minded Israelites, these niggas are sitting here and talking about, yeah, the Africans was the Egyptians. BS. They was not. He's talking about the Africans, the stink Africans, they was the Egyptians. No, they wasn't. Because I challenge you to go anywhere in the West and connect them with the Egyptians from back then, the ancient Egypt. They are not the same people. You tell one of the Africans, because you know the Africans carry an oral tradition. So if they was really the Egyptians, they would be able to tell you and link themselves to the Egyptians. No West African ever did that. The people here in America, the black people here in America, some of the blacks that's still over there in ancient Egypt, you are the ancient Egyptians. You are the ancient Nubians. Those people on the wall with those lips and those afros, Queen T, they look like you black women here in America. You got your own bloodline and culture. Stop trying to tie in with the damn Africans. Stop trying to sit up here and try to act like you understand why they dancing around, eating elephant ass and everything else and smelling like what they smell like. Stop trying to act like you understand that. Stop trying to act like you understand why they paint themselves up and dance. Well, that's an African custom. Why don't you go and do it with them then? Why don't you stay, if you understand it so much, stay over there and do that with them. Since you do Pan-Africanist niggas sit up here and talk that, because you know y'all got a lot invested in that. You guys got a lot invested in selling that BS to our people about us being Africans. Why? Because you niggas make your living off of that. Certain people who call themselves Africa and attach Africa to their names, y'all make y'all living off that. You sell books. You do lectures. That's why you want to push Africa. Because you make your money from there. If you take Africa away from black people and you prove that that's nothing but a slave title and black people turn their nose up at Africa like you damn should, because the Africans don't want to have nothing to do with your black ass, they trying to get over here. You turn your nose up at the Africa and that whole African mindset, then what they got? They ain't got people coming to their conferences no more. They ain't got people talking about the African Americans or African anymore. They ain't got you waving no phony red, black, and green flag no more. You understand that? We bigger than that. We universal people. This whole goddamn planet belongs to us. And you letting these people marginalize you. You letting the white man use these puppet niggas, these Pan-Africanist puppet niggas to marginalize us into a small corner on the planet called Africa when the whole goddamn planet belonged to you. We created this whole planet. The sun belonged to you, but you want to be Africans. Are you serious? You understand? They ingrained that so deep in our people's head going back 40 years ago. It was a time our people didn't even want to be part of no African. Back in the 40s and the 50s, we didn't want to be part of no African thing. And yeah, partly it was because of what the white man showed us about Africa, but he didn't lie. He really didn't lie. The Africans was primitive, and a lot of them still are primitive. They ain't built nothing. You understand? We was builders. We built things. We built civilizations and societies. Our structures are still up. Though the Arabs and the damn white man and the Asians are robbed from them, but our structures still stand today. You understand that? Stop falling for this nonsense with these dumb niggas putting up a red, black, and green flag, putting an ankh on it. Those two don't even go together. You understand? That's an oxymoron. Two different people. We are the Nubian people. They are the Africans. We different. Mixing with them is like mixing out of your bloodline. You understand? That's why we got sickle cell anemia in our blood. We didn't carry no damn sickle cell anemia. That comes from the Africans, from when the mosquitoes was biting them in Africa, and they formed a sickle cell to fight the malaria. Now it's in their bloodline now. Now it acts against their cells and cuts away at their normal blood cells. You understand that? They are not our people, and they know they're not your people. But you still got these Pan-Africans niggas that are pushing. They'll call me ignorant for what I'm saying, but they won't call up here and deny it. They'll sit there and they'll slander and say what I'm saying is wrong, but call up here and deny it. Call me a liar. I dare you. Pick it up. And like I said, I'll give you open time. I'll let you tell me, break it down to me why we African. 914-338-0504. Challenge me on that. See, because we got to stop with this madness. We got to start thinking of ourselves as universal people. You understand? We are mentalists. We say this in the State of Mental all the time. We are mentalists. We are receivers of higher intelligence. And that word mental, as I said, came from our tongue, our advancing tongue. So you got people who want to marginalize us into small areas and small spaces and make us smaller and smaller. And when we African American, this is who we are. You come from these people. You're not builders. You're not society. You don't run societies. You're not lords of the land. No, you Africans, and you dance and shake your ass, and you live in grass huts. That's what you come from. So then, the white man looks like in history that he don't look like a slave master no more. He actually starts to look like he rescued you from your savage state in Africa. He makes it look like he rescued you. That's the role he wants to play. You understand? That's why he pushes the whole African thing. He plays it up. You understand that? And the white man showed you that he loves Africa and the primitive Africans. Didn't he make the movie Tarzan, where the white man running around with the Africans and the monkeys and the jungle and all that? The white man running around. He tells you that's why he likes the African, because he gets to be his true savage self amongst the savage Africans. They all savages. You understand that? They learn to build from you. The white man learned to build from you. The new people, the ancient Nubians. The Kemites, the Nubians, the ancient new people, they learned to build from you. The Sumerians, that's all you. The first real Americans before the damn Chinese came over here across the Bering Straits and mixed in with the Olmecs, who were Nubians. They weren't no Africans. Because how you know that is because the Olmecs started building over here. Wherever you see our people building that, you know they ain't the Africans, because the Africans don't build nothing. The Africans put up huts, and they just live simply. And a lot of you niggas, no, and a lot of you people, some of y'all are descended from the Africans. Some of you are primitive like that. You people who feel a connection with the Africans, go be with them. You feel connected to them. A lot of you smell like them. Y'all carry an odor like the Africans. You understand? And for you people who living amongst the Africans who fooling yourself into believing you Africans when y'all really Nubians, when y'all Kofi Annan and all them people, they Nubians, man. They not Africans. They living amongst the Africans. They been conned just like you niggas think y'all American. You understand? You more American than anything. Because America was based more on how you lived in the ancient world. You understand? Amun, Reika, America. This is all based on Egypt. You understand? Like I said, the Israelites talk this nonsense about the Africans being Egypt. They are not the Egyptians. You're the Egyptians. You understand? Now they try to change it up. Now the Israelites try to change it up. Well, some of our people were the Egyptians. Nigga, now you saying some of our people were the Egyptians. Nigga, stop lying. You know our black people, the Africans are not the Egyptians. They're not the same people. Any bonehead nigga who's saying that like I said, watch him. Watch him. You understand? You got people, like I said, sitting around here claiming that, and they not even black. You got, I saw the white man, you kente cloth people, you kente cloth niggas with the big hats on. You got a lot of con artists out here who running around putting on African kente cloth and wearing them big funny hats with Jordans under them, talking a bunch of nonsense about how we African and pushing this whole African thing, right? Sound funny. Then the damn white man down here in Manhattan at the African Burial Museum, they had an exhibit, and you know who was teaching the black people about Africa and was dressed in the dashiki and the damn African headdress? You know who was there? Who was doing that? A white man. A white man. Huh? A white man. He had on the African kente cloth and the head and the big square hat with the kente cloth on it. That they go your Africa, they go your African culture right there. Yeah, and the niggas was sitting there listening to that. He's got the kente cloth on with the African stuff on, teaching y'all about Africa. But you know what? That's right and exact. That's right, and that would be right and exact. From Leo Scipio Africanus to that white man who teaching you in the Africa and down here in Lower Manhattan about the burial grounds of Manhattan and where the slaves was and talking about Africa, that would be right. From one white man to another. You know? Because he called you African. You not Egyptians. No, y'all ain't that. You're not Egyptians. No, those are Asiatic, Indo-European. He got all kind of names. They Asiatic, Asiatic, Indo-Asian, and then you look up here and you see King Tut with that big nose and them big lips, or you see Queen T with a damn afro. Black people, Nubians. No, but y'all want to be Africans though. You got more of a connection to Egypt. That's why when these niggas in the conscious community throw these trips, y'all first run to Egypt. How many of y'all the first ones to run to Africa? And when you go amongst the Africans, you looking at them niggas like a tourist. Don't front and sit up here and act like you know what that you connected to them. You sitting up here looking at them like you feel like a white man looking at them. You sitting up there, hey, look at our African brothers and sisters. When you know deep down in your mind, I know I wouldn't want to live here. They here, look at the tourists. You get your American on. You niggas ain't trying to be no Africans. Knock it off. But you proud to be Nubians. You proud to be Egyptians. You proud to say that you were builders. You understand? See, that spirit, that mentality, excuse me, I don't like to use the word spirit, but that mentality has to build in our people again. You understand? Because too many of us got an African mentality, unfortunately. Too many of us got an African mentality. Lazy. Shiftless, not building. We don't got a Nubian mentality. We ain't got a mentalist mentality. You understand? Mentalian, Nubian. We don't got that. Builders, people who are about some actionary people. Not like the Africans. The Africans are reactionary people. What do I mean by that? The Nubians were actionary people, meaning that they struck out. They didn't need the damn white man to do what they was doing. They was building on their own. They took action on their own. They sparked intelligence and they sparked fire in their brain. They took on and built. You understand? They didn't sit up here and wait for the white man to do nothing. What the Africans do? The Africans had to wait for the white man to come over there and build the railroads, cut down the damn jungle, and all this other stuff, and start building hotels and doing whatever, and put them niggas in white waiter jackets. You understand? kick their ass and take their land, and then they want to start getting mad about that. Reactionary people, people who react, not people who act, not people who build, not people who lay down things and do stuff. That's the mentality they bred in you, even in America. You black people here in America, you won't build to come together and do nothing. You understand? You'll wait till something like Trayvon Martin happened, then you niggas want to get black and start raising up red, black, and green flags and putting black hoods on your head, all kind of stupidity. You understand? That the white man started going amongst y'all. Y'all couldn't even see that was a game they played with y'all just to see how y'all would react. Why they gave that story so much national coverage. You understand? Just to see how y'all would react. And y'all played y'all part just fine. Y'all you know what y'all did? Y'all came out with that whole civil rights, new millennium civil rights mindset came right out of y'all. Y'all started marching, you start singing, you holding hands and talking about Trayvon. Then, while that's going on, 5 black people were shot down in Omaha, Nebraska by 2 white guys riding around in a damn truck. But you missed that part. You had a lot of things going on here. You didn't cry when black boys, y'all ain't getting out here marching and trying to get you black men ain't trying to get in your neighborhood when a bunch of Trayvon Martins getting killed all around the hood every day by other little niggas. You ain't in the hoods for that. You in the hoods when the white man say Trayvon. It's on the news. Everybody put on hoods and and march and everybody's outraged. Then you want to react. Then you niggas are reactionary, just like the Africans. It's all a program, and you missing it. Y'all a bunch of remote control, remote mind control niggas. That's what y'all are in America. Y'all remote control, remote mind control niggas here. The white man pushed the remote, and you niggas react. Trayvon Martin, you got Prince. This nigga sitting around here. Prince, who never stood up for nothing about being black. He stand up with a damn hood on his head. Now he black. We all African American. Really, Prince? Really? We got to stop with the foolishness. We got to stop with the con artists. We got to see through the people who running game on us. Even the ones amongst us who pushing the African thing. They serve the beast. I said, you niggas who pushing Islam, you pushing Christianity, you pushing Judaism, you still trying to push this Israelite thing, you niggas pushing African, and all them old ways of thinking from the last millennium got to go. All those old identities got to go. You understand that? Because we're not evolving. We're not developing mentally. You still talking about beating on drums, and you niggas with the dreads, and y'all with y'all dashikis. Come on, man, give me a break, man. Give me a break. But see, it has to be done by the younger generation. You're poisoning the minds of the younger generation with this African nonsense. You're teaching them to marginalize themselves and get proud over a slave title. That's what you're teaching them. All you people, like I said, you people who claim that I'm lying about Africa and that it came from Leo Scipio Africanus, some white Roman general, call in and prove me wrong. Because I talk to all these Pan-Africanists, so-called professors, these niggas that go to school to study Africa, study Pan-Africanism and African studies. What the hell is African studies? It's just something for you niggas just to get a piece of paper from the white man just so you can say you got an education. That's all. Just so you niggas ain't got to go and study medicine. You know what I mean? Just so you ain't gotta go and study medicine. Just so you ain't gotta go study law, something that could really help our people. You know? Just so you can get out of being responsible. We need doctors. We need lawyers. We need people studying sciences. We need real business people, independent men. We need people that could really help us, not some nigga sitting around or some niggers sitting around studying some African studies. What you were studying how to be a nigga? That's what you studying for 4 years, how to be a nigga? Nigga history? Beating on drums? The white man coming, you needed 4 years to learn that? I got to play some more music. I got to play some more music. I got to take a break because y'all just do that to me. We'll be right back. Mustafa Hefney. Look that man's name up. Mustafa Hefney. A black man who looks like an American black man, look like he could be your uncle, your father, your cousin, whatever, Afro, everything. Born and raised in Egypt. Yet when he came to America, they classified him as white. They rather classify you as an African. You understand? Rather than to ever tell you the truth about you being Nubians before you being builders. See, because like I said, it's just like in Hollywood, they rather pay for your movies. The movie industry rather pay for the movies where you acting like a Sambo and a coon, and and two could play that game, and he got was it two could play that game, and what's the other one? Yeah, think like a man. They rather everything's a joke. You niggas are a big joke. And the studio that produces a lot of the coon movies is a studio called Screen Gems. Screen Gems. Like diamonds, gems, Screen Gems, owned by Sony. They produce these movies, these 2-hour coon shows. You understand? Same tired ass jokes from the people that brought you Africanism. Right? From the people that brought you Africanism. They don't want you to be seen as a builder, as a serious person. They don't want you to be looked at as almond beings, as the God race. They don't want that. You understand? They don't want you being connecting to Taharka and Queen T and all those people. They not black. Those are Indo-European with big afros, black skin, but they not black. See, they don't want serious black people here in the society. They don't want to ever have people think of you as being serious people. They don't ever want you to take yourself seriously to the point where you young black men don't even take yourself seriously. You niggas are a joke. You niggas on the corner smoking weed every day are a joke. You don't take yourself serious. Everything is a big joke with you. Everything is aimed at keeping you childlike, simple-minded, addle-brained. And then the white man turns around and he'll talk about you like that. He'll talk about how small your brain is in comparison to his, lying his ass off. He'll talk about how simple-minded you are, and he does everything to keep you simple-minded. He calls you an African. Then he'll turn around and bring an African bring some African from Africa like he did in 1910 and put him in a cage, Ota Benga, and put him next to a goddamn monkey, and Ota Benga playing with the damn monkey. You understand? And then he'll tell you that's your people. And you'll sit up here and go, you sit up here and you ashamed. And then they start pushing it because they figured, oh well, damn, you had groups like the Nation of Islam and them coming up and the black teaching the black man was God and stuff like that. Even though they was using Freemasonry and stuff, but it was a lot closer to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? That teaching was a lot closer to our ancient Nubian and Egyptian teaching when Elijah was wearing the fez and whatnot, which came from the god Amun. It was all Freemasonry, but at least it was closer to what we really are, builders. Elijah was a builder, built a nation. It was closer. So what happened? What happened? As soon as Elijah and them started building up the nation, and Garvey and them was talking about building, and we start getting that builder's mentality, what happens? Here comes the 60s around, and somebody's pushing Pan-Africanism. Somebody's pushing dancing and shaking their ass and bongo drums over building. I wonder who sponsored that message. I wonder who put money behind it. I wonder who put money behind the red, black, and green flags and took down the building flag, took down to build. I wonder who did that. I wonder where that came from. Is that a conspiracy? A conspiracy, is it? Against those, a con against those who aspire. You understand? People who are inspired to build. Take down the building. Take down the people that's building schools. Take down the people that's building up businesses, and put up people and push out people and put people in light who's shaking their ass and dancing and act like they do in Africa and build up a proud to be African mentality, or push Orthodox Islam on the people. This we are the world spirit, or push Kundalini and Tantric sex, all kind of nonsense to throw us off a building. Push all kind of nonsense in our way, all kind of distractions to throw us off a building. You understand that? They love the African thing. They love when we call ourselves Africans. They love that. Like I said, smiling. Like I said, the Africans are smiling coons. The Africans are a bunch of coons. They your original Sambos from the motherland, the so-called motherland. You understand that? They are. You understand? That's what they are. They love the white woman. They go over there. Look, then Barack Obama. They go and get English white women. They mix. They see. They love the white woman. You understand? They can't wait to get to London. If Africa's so great, why are they trying to get the hell out? Why are they trying to get to America and London? Because they want to be around white people. They ain't come here for y'all niggas. They ain't come here because they want to be around. They just happen to live in your neighborhood because they can't afford nothing else. But then once they get some money, they go and they get accepted to like Ivy League colleges like Harvard and things like that. They can't wait to live around white people. They don't want to live around you niggas in America. But yet you niggas pumping y'all fist for Pan-Africanism. You pumping your fist for red, black, and green, calling these people your people. They didn't start, like I said, that whole Pan-African thing started in the 60s here. Garvey was talking about Africanism, but he was only talking about it on the level of trying to set up a different homeland. His mindset was the same as what James Monroe, the president in 1804, did, where he wanted to accept and establish an independent homeland, whereas black people in America was going into a place and setting up a country of their own. That could have worked in South America. You got just as many of our people in South America as you do in Africa. You understand that? But we want to claim just Africa when the whole planet belongs to us. The only real place the white man can claim his origin from is the caves of Europe. That's it. The caves of the Caucasus Mountain. That's the only place that the Asiatics, the East Indian, the white man, and all the rest of them can claim their titles from is from the caves in Europe, the Caucasus Mountains. They can't claim it from no place else. And there was no Europe. All that was Asia, or what they call Asia. Even that word Asia is a Greek word. These people fill up all these continents. So, you know, when the people talk about we Asiatic black men, there's no such thing as no Asiatic black man. Unless you're talking about the East Indians. Unless you're talking about them, those are the Asiatic black men, not us. We're Nubians. We are now in a millennium where we're mentalists, receivers, almond beings, rays. We have a rich future. We have a rich past, but we're getting out the past because we know about that. But we have a rich future if we look to the future. As those receivers here on earth, we were interrupted with all kinds of foolishness. We were interrupted with Pan-Africanism. We were interrupted with all kinds of things that had nothing to do with us. You understand? And we accepted it. Like I said, I know a lot of people out there mad at me right now, and, you know, how this brother going to talk about Africa? But like I said, you can sit up here and get pissed off all you want to. You can say I'm wrong all you want to, but you ain't going to call in here. You wouldn't dare call in here and challenge me about it. Challenge me and prove that we Africans. Prove that tell me, you sit up here and tell that lie and sit up here and tell me that name didn't come from white people, that it didn't come from the Romans, from Scipio Africanus, the Roman general. Tell me that name Africa didn't come from. Prove to me that our people thought in terms of continents. We didn't even think like that. Prove to me this nonsense about, all life started in Africa. Yeah, human life started in Africa, but we're not human. Black people are not part of the human race. Life started underwater. You understand? It's from single-celled amoebas, from the human life, from the human form. We wasn't part of the creation. Truth be told, we're not even from here. You could tell. But like I said, you know, for you Pan-Africanist niggas, that's too much over your head. You understand? Show me our origins in Africa. Because you are sitting up here lying and you believe in the white man. He telling you about some monkey lady from 4 million years ago. Get the hell out of here. Named Lucy. Lucy and Ethel? Well, where's Ricky and Fred? Come on, that nigga nonsense, man. Y'all believe anything the white man tell you. You reactionary people. You Pan-Africanists, like I said. You can't, like I said, y'all attach that whole slave mentality. You understand? It's just something to do. It's a style and it's a fad. Just like this whole Moorish thing. You understand? Just like the Moorish thing. Moor, what does it mean? Black, dark, more Kush, black. Yeah. Black. Right. And it's not even a real culture. Because you know how you know that? Because y'all attach it to Islam. You understand? Which is an Arab religion. Islam ain't got nothing to do with us. You understand? You attach to Islam. The Arabs, swords. You understand? You know, we got to get out of that, man. We got to move on. A lot of our people don't want us to move on. A lot of our people want us to stay stuck in the past with this nonsense, man. Like I said, a lot of you Moors, y'all still sitting up here waiting for the white man to give you land. Reactionary people. You still waiting on treaties. That's old. The white man done moved on. He ain't thinking about y'all. All that comes with that whole African mind frame. All that comes with that whole African, Egyptian, what else titles we got? African, Moorish, whatever. Kemite. Yeah, we was the ancient Nubians and whatnot. We always gonna have that new from being, because that even that word new, you understand, comes from beyond this planet, and they proved that. People that's coming from that primordial abyss, or that dark space, they called it the primordial waters, which is actually the universe. Beyond, people who came from beyond the sun. That's real. That's not no mythology. That's not nothing made up. We're not even from here. So how the hell you going to tell me our origins is in Africa? The white man can't even find out how old black people are. And Elijah Muhammad said that. You understand? He knew back then. They don't even know how old black people is because you don't come from here. Anything that comes from here, they can date it. They can find out where the origin is. Why they can't find out where you come from? They lying to you when they tell you come from Africa. That's a lie. This BS about some Africoid gene and all that BS. They just doing that because they never, the white man, he hates to admit that he just don't know something. So he'll just lie and make up something. Some Africoid genetic. Okay, where does the Africoid genetic come from? See, because the white man could trace his origin back to animals. He traces his origin back to animals. Back to the single-celled amoeba. The white man traces his genes back to the East Indian, and they trace theirs back to the caveman and evolving from monkeys and animals. Don't he show you that ape man? Do he ever show you black men in that equation? No, he don't. Where's the black man come from? They don't know. What they gonna tell you some monkey lady named Lucy? And like I said, a lot of you niggas fell for that. You fell for that. If you really were created here, why they can't tell you where you come from? Why they can't tell you where do you evolve from? Where did you start at? Africa is not an answer. That's just a statement. It's not an answer, and it's not a proven answer. All life started in Africa. Okay, so what you saying? All human life started in Africa. I know all human life started underwater, when there was no Africa, when there was no landmass. When the land masses just started coming up before anybody started calling it Africa, because that title Africa that came with the Romans. Nobody was referring to it as no Africa before the white man and the Romans. Now I said, if you Pan-Africanists who pissed off at this, what I'm saying, you got a problem, call me up and tell me I'm wrong. You done had an hour to do that. And I know some of you going to listen to this broadcast, and then you probably slander me later on and say, oh, who this brother think he is, talking about the Africanness and Africa. Yeah, right, whatever. Yeah, the Africans were slaves under the Roman rule anyway. They colonized the Africans. They colonized and called them all Africans because the white man, like I said, they like to do things in a filing system. They don't want to. They didn't want to go by this tribe, that tribe, that tribe. Look, y'all all Africans. That's how he do that. And y'all adopted that into this mentality today, where the white man was Eurocentric. Now you niggas are Afrocentric because you want to be I told you, you niggas want to be the carbon copies of the white man. Even you Pan-Africanists, you want to be the carbon copies of the white man. You know, you don't want to be the builders. You don't want to be the thinkers. You don't want to be descend from thinkers and builders. You want to be talking about you from tribal people. But it's funny how all these people who talk all this African stuff, do you ever see them living amongst the tribal people? Do they own homes where the tribal people come from? These niggas over here who claim Africa, do they own homes in those tribal places in the West? You know, are they married to tribal African women? I think not. Because your tribal African men, they want white women. And they want them immediately. They want them yesterday. Yeah, some of them stick with their own kind of, but like I said, the Africans, like I said, they don't have any connection to us at all. You could tell we a whole different mentality. The Israelites call them Ham. They ain't no Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Some madness, some story about 3 sons and 12 sons and all this and every tribe. Come on, man. Come on with that's fairy tale. That's fairy tale. You understand? The so-called Israelites, they was mixing their seed with everybody. You understand that? With everybody. The Africans and the Africans. but we are different people. We have to understand this because we have to be a people in America and around the world because the majority of our people around the world are Nubians. They're not Africans. The Africans pretty much stayed in Africa. You know an African when you see one. You can smell one when you see one. And it's not to disrespect the African, the Africans. I don't have nothing against African people. But what I do got a problem with, because they stay amongst themselves. They don't want to have nothing to do with you because they know they're different. I got a problem with people who are trying to lie to us and tell us we the same as them. That's what I got a problem with. Or trying to paint us as the American version of them. We're not the American version of anybody. Like I said, a lot of these niggas, like I said, their message is bought and paid for. It seems like I'm going to make that assertion. A lot of their messages are bought and paid for by people who don't want us to, who got a lot invested in us being Africans, who got a lot invested in us keeping that slave mentality, keeping these slave identities. A lot of people got a lot of money invested in that. And who's to say they're not pushing money under the table to these niggas who pushing this black, red, and green mess to you? And then they know that y'all didn't want to see, and then they know that y'all didn't want to take the Ankh, y'all didn't want to divorce yourself from the Ankh. So what did these niggas do? They put the Ankh on the red, black, and green flag. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That don't even make sense. And like I said, a lot of people had a problem with that because y'all can't think beyond a certain way. A lot of our people can't think beyond a certain mindset. Like I said, a lot of our people are locked in Islam. A lot of you are locked in Pan-Africanism. A lot of you are locked in Egyptology. A lot of you are locked in, so you can't advance mentally beyond that because you don't think it's anything more. You understand? You locked in that whole African thing. A lot of you niggas are just y'all. This is getting lost in translation to a lot of y'all. You understand? But our people who are connected to that God race, that those Amun Base, you know my language. You know what I'm speaking about. You know we're not the same as the primitive people here, or the Africans. You understand that? You know that. You know we're not the same. Why is it that we, like I said, connect to the Egyptians? And it's not because people say, oh, it's because, because the Egyptians were illustrious people and they were building and stuff like that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It ain't just that. It ain't just that. We have a connection to these people. We have an affinity to these people. We have a link to these people. We don't have a link to the Africans. Not even you niggas who claim Pan-Africanism, because why don't you go live with the Africans? Why don't you go marry their women? You don't find their women attractive. You understand? You lying. Stop telling lies. You black women, y'all don't find the African men attractive. You understand that? You don't find them attractive unless you find the Nubians who are amongst the Africans. You understand? Don't mistake the Nubians, the ones of our people who grow woolly hair and our hair grew up into afros and stuff. Those are the Nubians. Those are the men who call themselves Africans that you find attractive, not the Africans, not them. I said you could have the darkest Nubian sister standing right next to the darkest African sister, and you still know a difference. Just like if you could stand a so-called East Indian, darkest East Indian next to a Nubian sister and an African sister, you'll see three different shades altogether, three different mindsets, three different cultures. It's not the same. I had some simple-minded nigga tell me that that the East Indians are a mixture of white and black people. They mulattoes. Because some idiot is going around teaching this online that the that the East Indians are mulattoes and they are mixtures of black and that they are a mixture of black and white. The East Indians are not mulattoes; they are their own separate Asiatic race of people. You understand that? The Amun race. The Amun race are not from here. They travel. They come from a world that is beyond Earth. And like I said, a lot of our people don't want to accept it. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. When you're talking about Nibiru, when you're talking about an advanced race, a God race, you could tell we're not from here. Our people who built Egypt and Sumeria and Nubia, we're not from here. They trying to make us think we from here. They want to ground you, and they want you to be African. But the Amun race are a God race that came from a whole nother world. That's why we're not accepted here by the humans. The East Indians don't like you. The Africans don't like you. The white man don't like you. The Asians don't like you. You think that's a coincidence? You are the gods walking amongst the men. You are the gods walking amongst mankind, the humans, the creation. That's why they don't like you. You come from a whole nother world. You are the people that came from that moving planet called Nibiru in the universe. It's real. The Sumerians talked about it. They talk now. The white man's admitting that these people coming from a different world built this planet, set this whole thing in motion, set this biosphere in motion. It's real. Go look up the Sumerians. Go look up the Anunnaki. Go look up the Neteru. You are the Anunnaki. You are the Neteru. That was just their language for the Amen beings. That was what they were calling the Amen beings. That's the God race. That's who you are. You don't come from here. You know, we not from here. Mentella, the Amen race, Mentella, Nibiru, the Neteru. It's the same people, the Amen race. That's what they called us in Egypt, Neteru. That's what they called us in Sumeria, Anunnaki. Those who came to Ki, we refer to Earth as Ki. Those who came to Ki, those new beings, Anunnaki. It's right there in your damn face, Anunnaki. We are those Anu people. Nubians. It's no coincidence that we attracted that word NU, new people. I said the number 13 in the Greek alphabet represents the word new, and I said that in the number new in the English or in America represents 13 or represents something new. It also represents something new in the Hebrew. When the boy goes through the bar mitzvah, when he goes from becoming a boy to a man, he goes through a new stage in his life, or a girl goes for her bat mitzvah, you know, that goes from girl to woman. 13 represents something new. You are the new people. You are those new people under the sun. You are the God race. You are the descendants of those Amen beings, who they called Neteru in Egypt, who they called Anunnaki in Sumeria. It's the same, all the same people. You're not from here. That's why everyone hates you. Hello, you're not like them. Our people was talking about them years ago. Our people was talking about these people from beyond the sun years ago. You are their descendants. Here, you black people in America. The white man know that. He knows that. He knows you're not from here. Why you think he get along with everybody else but not you? And like I said, for you niggas who can't grasp that because your mind locked into Africa, but you can't explain why you being called Africans and whatnot, why don't you call in and prove me wrong? Because we had some Pan-African people in the thing listening, and some of y'all still listening. I know you out there listening, hating on what I'm saying, but you can't deny it. The truth, I don't care. I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't give a damn who don't like it. We are the Amen beings. We are the God race. But a lot of us are still in darkness. A lot of us still want to keep our people in darkness. A lot of our people make their living from keeping us in darkness by calling us Africans, by telling us that we were marginalized and that we have an origin from some place called Africa. From where? Where in Africa? Where in this place? You understand? Do we have an origin at? Where exactly? The whole continent. That's not an answer. Stop telling lies to our people. Y'all stop going to these damn conferences with some nigga sitting up here with a big-ass ankh on his neck and red, black, and green and trying to BS y'all to sell some books and lie to y'all about being African. Ask them where the name came from. Ask them who was the first ones to call us African. Next time you listen to your African, get your African moment, we want to get your African on, that understand we got nothing to do with these people. Because when you do that, you're cutting your connection. When you people, black people here in America, of the God race, the Amen race, call yourself Africans, you cutting your connection with the Amen beings, because now you're making yourself mortal beings. You're thinking like them. You're thinking that you have an origin here, and you don't. No, they're not going to call in. No, they're not. Because they know I'm telling the truth. Them niggas wouldn't dare call in here. Because they know I'm telling the truth. I don't ran into all that Pan-Africanist so-called scholars and whatnot. And whenever I address that to them, they never answered it. Because they know I'm telling the truth. See, they're not going to put themselves on the spot. Because if they don't sit up here and talk about they got all this historical data about where we come from and they could break all this down, where they at now? You don't think they didn't? I posted on all these forums, abundance, all that, and all the Pan Africans listening on anything. Why don't they call in now? I had somebody, some simple-minded Negro, talking about, oh, brother, you got to be kidding. Why you ain't calling in? So if you think I'm kidding, I told you, call in. Prove me wrong. That we Africans. We got 20 minutes left in this show. I'll wait. I won't play no music. I'll just talk straight through and wait for you. All you Pan-Africanists who say I'm wrong because I'm lying to the people, why you ain't calling? I'll wait. Like Cat Williams said, I'll wait. Y'all con artists. You niggas are lying. You serve the beast. You helping keep us back. You cutting our connection. You work for him. He put together the money for your Pan-Africanist movements. He supports you niggas. He supports your conferences. You understand that? You niggas, you know what y'all serve to do? You serve to create confusion amongst our people. You serve to create confusion. Well, here's where the confusion going to end. We ain't doing that in the state of Mental. You understand? We reconnecting. We waking up the God race. We waking up you women who are of the God race, you almond beings, you men and women who calling yourself black. You are the almond race. You are not of the human race. They're not going to tell you that. You got some of these niggas out here now who walk around talking about, oh, well, our people, you got certain people going around to want to talk about almond all of a sudden. They wasn't talking about almond before, but I'm going to leave that alone. You understand? Certain people want to go and do things about almond. Oh, you got certain people that's going around talking about, oh, we come from Serious A and Serious B, pulling that out their ass. Some Serious A, and we don't come from no Serious A and no Serious B. Nigga, are you serious? We don't come from no Serious B. We come from a moving planet. You understand? That's where we're from. An eternal space that has no time. Time is measured on this planet, not in the universe, not in our world, because it is not bordered by solar systems. This is reality. This is not fantasy. This is not anything made up. This is the truth. This is the real truth. They say the truth is stranger than fiction. We are not Africans. The wool has been pulled over our eyes for way too long. Way too long. When are we going to wake up? We have to wake up in this new millennium, see, because if a new image is not drawn in the minds of our people, a new image, a new door is not opened up, then you'll see another dead generation. You'll see another group of black men standing around with their pants hanging off their ass, smoking weed because they told in society that they nothing, that you African Americans, that you are nothing more than a double slave identity. Black men walking around smoked out of their damn mind with their pants hanging off their ass with white Jesus hanging on their neck. Slaves, mental slaves. That's what Pan-Africanism done promoted for you. You know that don't turn our people on. Okay. 334. I'm going to take your call.
Hello?
334. You on?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, what's up, brother? This is Jim calling from Alabama.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to ask a question right quick. You said that we formed out of the water. Is that what you were saying?
No, I didn't say that. I said the humans came out of the water. I said the humans were dropped into the water as single-celled amoebas, and they were grown here. Just as the white man puts DNA in petri dishes, we did that with this planet here where we formed the humans off of this planet. Same thing. They copy. They're doing nothing but copying the same genetic plan that the almond beings copied that really came from us.
Okay. So let me ask you this right here. Like I said, I'm enjoying the program because it makes people think because my name it was Reborn African and everything. But
Reborn. What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's me, man. What's going on,
right,
brother? So let me ask you this right here: is it true that white people did they form from us? Did they come from us?
No, what happened was that they came out of the East Indians. They're actually a mutated race from out of the East Indians, who were your first people that were thrown into the water in the genetic mutation. When they talk about the with people going from different landmass to landmass, and then through time and through climate control, people lost the complexion, the color of their skin. They're actually talking about that degeneration in the East Indians, not in us, because we carry a carbon coating on our skin, and no matter how much of our complexion or whatever we lose out of it, we still carry that carbon coating. Like I was saying, Michael Jackson bleached all the color out of his skin, but you still could tell he was a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a carbon coating on his skin. That's not color. That's a coating. And the carbon doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. So when you say dropped into the water, are you saying, I mean, where are you saying, like, the Nubians are from? That's what I'm trying to get to.
The Nubians, like I said, we are the Amun beings of the Amun race, and we come from that world that was called Nibiru by the Sumerians, that was talked about, that moving planet. You understand? That was out in the universe. We don't come from this planet. Black people do not come from this planet. We created the human race, which are an artificial race of people, to work. When you hear about the story of the gods creating man to serve, the gods are talking about us. Those were people. They weren't no spooks and no mystery. They were people, advanced people, that created an artificial race of people, your human race, i.e. your East Indians, and out of your East Indians came your white race and your Asians, because of when they went to different land masses, they came out of the Caucasus Mountains or the Georgia, the Caucasus Mountains. They started to move about, but first they came out of, we took a bit of our genetic and we put it in the animals that was coming out of the water, because we dropped their DNA in there to create workers. Just the same way we dropped the reptilians into the water to bring out the dinosaurs and things like that, because we carried the DNA from every life form, and we dropped them into the water to breed them to work. Same way the white man was, and the rest of the human race was bred to work. They wasn't bred to rule a planet. That was supposed to be the Amun race, or those people who were left here, which are we're their descendants.
Okay. Now, when you're saying Amun, are you talking about the god Amun Ra, or is this a separate Amun?
No, it's two. Well, if you listen to the broadcast I did, I said there's Amun and there's Amun Re. Amun is who they refer to is the real God. That's God who everybody's worshiping. That's why you say Amun at the end of your prayers. Amun Re is actually the Son of God, but it was translated as S-U-N, not S-O-N. But when the white man stole that story and started talking about God and Jesus, he translated it as Jesus, the Son, S-O-N of God, because they were taking that story of Amun and Amun Re. That's where the whole Son and Son of God came from, because if you notice, in ancient Egypt, they showed you the sun or the solar disk over the people's head would represent reception or light, which translates as intelligence. Okay? That when you talk about a sun, you're talking about those who receive as rays or receivers. I said because it's an evolving language. What you call Kemetic language and things like that, they was actually evolving languages, even to this day where we got English. So it's all nothing but one evolving language. There is no different such thing as different language. There is no English or anything that came from the white man. The white man was just used to help bring about languages. He was used as an instrument to bring about languages, and he was sent reception to bring about different languages on the planet. In other words, he was just basically used, just like a person might be used to bring out a certain invention and things like that, but that was sent, or that image was generated in your mind to bring it out physically.
Mm-hmm.
You follow?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. And I got one more question, then I'm going to let you move on.
Mm-hmm.
Back to when you were speaking of, so are you saying that, like, we come from, like, outer space or something like that?
We refer. Now, I'm not saying I'm saying that we come from a moving planet that's in space or in the universe that is not bound by solar systems, which they refer to as Nibiru, a moving world. See, because we understand this planet Earth that rotates around the sun as a biosphere that that's charged by that's part of a solar system. Now, a solar system is basically a biosphere that moves around the sun, that receives energy and light from the sun to grow things here, because things were dropped into the planet in order to sprout out and create that environment here. we have an environment. We come from an environment that's charged with heat already, that's constantly moving in space. And they talked about this world called Nibiru, which is where the God race came from, or aka the advanced people who were thousands and thousands and millions of years more advanced than the humans that they created here.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk, see, now let me just say this. Now this might seem off key to certain people because they don't. But then you say you can't deny that there is an advanced race of people that put this thing in order. There has to be an advanced race of people that put this thing in order. There has to be an advanced race of people that brought all this into existence. Whether you believe in a god, a Neteru, you can't get away from that. Some divine or supreme intelligence went into creating man, went into creating the planet, went into creating the solar system. That wasn't no Big Bang theory, because like I said, anything that blows up blows out of order. Anything that is put in order is put in order by a thinking mind, i.e. somebody that created a working system. So there had to be intelligence there. There had to be people that did that.
Okay. The reason I kept asking about that is because as you were speaking of it, I remember reading an article. It was like a year ago, and I was looking in this article, and the reason I was asking you, were we from like outer space or something like that, like not from this earth, but like, and you said from out in what you were telling me. The reason why is because I was reading that it would be scientists. And they were doing studies and everything, and they were saying that the same, like the carbon and all of this right here that was in our bodies, that they refer to us as Africans, African Americans or whatever. And they were speaking, they were like, it's the same, they are producing the same thing that was in like the solar system, like in outer space and stuff. And I was reading and I was like, wow, what are they talking about? Because I went following them. I'm like, to my understanding, we formed in Africa. So I was like, and it was like Asian, Chinese, and white people, white scientists.
Well, hold on, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How did we form in Africa? How did that happen?
I don't know. That was my understanding. Like I say, I'm still finding out stuff every day. Like
the white
tonight, I found.
Well, the white man tells you that his origin comes from monkeys. All right, he tells you that his origin comes from monkeys. He'll tell you that, and you can see that he telling the truth. That they covered in fur, just like the white man still be covered up in fur. A lot of them covered in hair, which is really fur, and they come from cavemen. So they telling you the truth about their origins, but yet they never tell you our origin. They don't tell you. They say we just popped up in Africa. How?
Yeah. And so, I was reading that, but, the one thing that I noticed about it is, I was like, damn, why is white, as I was looking at the pictures of them and everything, I was wondering, I'm like, why are these white, Asian, and Chinese people so focused on studying black people? That was one thing I noticed. And the second thing I noticed, it wasn't no black people there. But I was just reading it, and that's why I was, as you were speaking of it, I was like, man, I was reading an article, and they were saying that, the same thing that was out there, we were made of. So that's the reason I just wanted to ask you that.
That's what I was talking about the blood plasma and the solar blood plasma and whatnot that's going through our veins. Yeah, the same thing that's in the sun's the sun carries a plasma, same thing we carry in our blood, same plasma. And Dr. Charles Drew discovered that. And it's funny how he got in a car accident when he came with the blood plasma that helped the white soldiers back in the World War II. Then all of a sudden they let him die in a car crash. They didn't help him, and he saved all these white soldiers with the blood plasma because he discovered the black man actually, because he was doing experiments. They would only let black doctors treat black people back then, so he discovered plasma through black men. He didn't discover it through them. So.
And you said his name was Charles Drew?
Charles Drew, Dr. Charles Drew.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Hugo, that's all I wanted. If I think of something else, I'll raise my hand again.
Okay, well, I'm about to end it soon, so we got a few minutes left. I'm about to close it out. If you want to bring it back sometime, I might revisit this somewhat But I just want to get this off because it's limiting our people and our way of thinking. So, that whole African thing got to go. That whole red, black, and green thing got to go because we advancing. We not on our level of evolution as that God race, that almond race, those almond beings. We had to draw the line and let people know, look, we're not part of the human race. But this is why we are the most hated people on the planet. Nobody likes us. The white man loves the Africans. That's what proves to you that the Africans are not our people because the white man loves them. He don't like us. If we were the same people, he'd love us just like them, but he hates us. The East Indians come here, they hate us. The Chinese don't like us. They sitting around here making fun of us. They ain't making fun of the Africans. They got Afro wigs on their head in Asia making fun of us, painting their face up in blackface. They ain't making fun of the Africans.
Yeah.
So that proves to you that we're not the same people. Why is the focus on us? And like you said, when they was talking about our people, they focus on it because they know their origin. They don't know what yours is. But we're telling you what our origin is, as those Anu people or those Anunnaki. You see in the word Anunnaki, which I talked about in the Sumerian, you see the word Nubian. All it's the same people. The mentalists, it's all the same people. The almond beings, all the same people.
Okay,
right?
Okay, I got you. And that's one thing that actually, I have heard white people always try to refer to us as, we came from monkeys and all of this and that. And you're gonna hear a dog bark. I have to come outside when I talk because I can't be around my computer when I'm speaking. But what was you saying, brother? Go ahead.
Well, if we come from monkeys, why didn't you ever see any monkeys with afros?
Mm-hmm. Well, my thing was, I used to tell them all the time, I was like, look, y'all have more in common with monkeys because, monkeys got thin lips like y'all.
Got straight hair, pale skin when you shave down the monkey. The monkey got straight hair like them. They got thin lips. And Eddie Murphy made a joke about that a long time ago on Saturday Night Live, talking about how the monkey got thin lips, shaved the monkey down, he got pale skin, and he got straight hair. We don't. Wait, show me an animal. Show me an animal that looks remotely like a man with an afro and dark skin. You show me.
Mm-hmm. And also, they have a tail because I have seen pictures of white people.
Yeah, you got white people, and not just white people. White people, East Indians, Chinese. A lot of them are born with tails, and they call it coccyx, and they're removed at a young age. At birth, they remove the tails. You can go online, Google it. Google coccyx and white people. You'll see them born with tails. So that proves they come from animals. Black people not born with that. A lot of the things we born with, we get from mixing with them, with the East Indian, the Asian, and the white man.
Okay, brother. I appreciate the program, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I was looking forward to some African, some Pan-Africanist people to call in and prove me wrong, but obviously we ain't getting that tonight because they, I don't know, whatever. You can't tell me they ain't listening because anything that's saying Africa, they gonna click on it, and I put Africa big and plain and simple on there. Anything Africa, I posted in all these groups. Why ain't they calling? They ain't going to. All right.
Yeah.
All right, brother. It's good talking to you.
All right, bro. Peace.
We're about to close it out. This is join us again on Friday. I don't know exactly what the topic is going to be. I think I'm going to do something on cults. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean Monday. I'm sorry. I think we're going to do something on cults. I want to do something on cults and why the white man refers to certain organizations that are independent here as cults. I think I'm going to do something feeling cults. Yeah, I'm feeling cultish. I want to talk about cults. So we'll do it. I'll see y'all back here on Monday. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This is State of Mental Radio. Look for the posting on in our future race of supermen and superwomen and in the State of Mental Radio room. Again, I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. Good night.